my relationship with animals. I walk into the garden surrounding my palace. Animals sense my arrival and move towards me. More animals dance around me, happy to see me, happy to be with me. They begin their entertainment. I watch the way the light dances on their fur, their feathers, their movements. We are at ease with each other in natural rhythm. What is the feeling between us? What are their eyes reflecting when they look at me? What is the exchange between us when I leave them to continue my walk?
वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं। तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे, तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे। बाबा अब भी साथ हमारे हैं।
इतना अविनाशी भाग्य का नशा साथ में रखना, सिर्फ यहाँ तक नशा नहीं रहे, लेकिन अविनाशी भाव है, अविनाशी श्रेष्ठ आप आत्माएं हो। तो भाग्य भी अविनाशी, अविनाशी भाग्य को अविनाशी रखना, ये सिर्फ सहज अटेंशन देने की बात, टेंशन वाला अटेंशन नहीं, सहज अटेंशन। और मुश्किल भी क्या है, मेरा बाबा जान लिया, मान लिया कि सिर्फ जान लिया है, मान भी लिया है ना। तो जो जान लिया, मान लिया, अनुभव कर लिया, अधिकार प्राप्त हो गया, फिर क्या मुश्किल। सिर्फ एक ही मेरा बाबा, मेरा बाबा अनुभव होता रहे, यही फुल नॉलेज। एक बाबा शब्द में सारा आदि मध्य अंत का ज्ञान समाया हुआ है, क्योंकि बीज है ना, तो बीज में तो चार समाया हुआ होता है ना। विस्तार बोल सकता है, लेकिन सार एक शब्द बाबा, ये याद रहना मुश्किल नहीं, मुश्किल लगता है। सदा सहज हो। बच्चे, मैं आपके सदा साथ हूँ।
Om Shanti. Avyakt signals. In order to pass in the final test, increase the power to discern. Many times, because of being influenced by Maya, some children consider the dictates of their mind to be Srimad. Therefore, always use the power to discern. Sometimes, because of not being able to discern properly, you cause a loss to yourself. Therefore, when you are unable to discern something by yourself, take help from the elevated instrument souls. Have it verified as to whether something is Srimad or Manmat, and then put it into the practical form. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Parivar. Today is day 13, creating heaven inside ourselves. True belonging is the path to liberation in life. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Yes, very good to see everyone waving hands. We are well. We are okay. I think most of us, when we came to Baba, some of us met dadis or sisters, and there was instant feeling of belonging. Even when I saw Mama, Baba, the feeling was I just belong to them. So then, of course, belonging is to follow Father. And there was understanding that Baba give us liberation in life. Liberation is going home. And from home, then we come in golden age, life of liberation. So it was such a beautiful feeling that it was not like as if we are surrendering, but it was more belonging. Because when you know that I belong, then you, in a way, you are surrender. Now we use word surrender, right? I remember that belonging was such a feeling of constantly, what can I do for Baba, for Yagya, for spiritual unlimited family all the time. It's not anyone will ask for anything, but just internally there is this feeling to serve. And that's because of feeling of belonging. Brahma Baba always share that how when he had vision of Shiv Baba or introduction of Shiv Baba, he just renounced and he surrendered to Baba. And of course, he took many big steps. So same as Baba said, when anyone come to take Gyan, knowledge, those who belong to deity religion, they will just accept everything. Whatever you will tell them, three aspects of knowledge, about knowledge about cycle, whatever you will explain to them, it will appeal them. Now, many people ask us to explain certain things. Then we said, but when we came to Baba, I didn't ask anything. It was so natural to understand, to accept, and then to belong. And it's such a beautiful belonging that there is no bondage. The inheritance of Jivan Mukti, life of liberation, begins as soon as we belong to Baba. Even externally, sometimes there were bondages, but from the heart, it was just, I am for Baba. My life is for Baba. As I said, yes, externally, family, society, there are always some social norms, and especially for girls, there are so many restrictions. But I remember that when I belonged to Baba, respecting whatever society has to say or expect from us, but still I always used to feel two things. One is this life belongs to God. And second is that yes, I have free will now. I have to decide for my life what will keep me happy. I have to live my life. Right? So belonging to Baba gave us not only knowledge, that lot of power too. And with that power, it became very easy to be free from all the bondages. In those days when I started in 1958, morning class used to be at 5 in the morning. That means if you live about half an hour distance, you have to leave home 4:30. And 4:30 in winter is like midnight, right? So I had a friend, two of us will run from home to center, run in the sense, walk very fast, won't look here, there, just you have to make it, no fear. Everyone else was at home were scared. You all leave when it's so dark. But for us, no. There was so much pull to be there, to be at Baba's home, to go and listen morely. Because at that time, morning class was most important. There was not regular evening class or during day. On Thursdays, there used to be a noon class for mothers, because mothers can't come some other time. So when it says belonging is the path to liberation in life. And this liberation is not external bond, but internally there were so many habits, mental habits, habits of speaking, eating, so many habits. Right? And the transformation started happening. The way we think changed completely. The way we speak changed also. Many habits. I remember when I came to Baba, I thought, oh, how will I am going to give up this eating habit? How can I give up this? But as soon as come to Baba, belong to Baba, start following, I found that yes, they gone. I was wondering what happened to them. So this liberation, not only from habits, but there were so many strong sanskars. strong sanskars of anger, ego, very common, right? Anger was like a friend, right? Ego was so much with the soul. But when I belonged to Baba, there was no desire. That means no lust, no greed, no anger, no body consciousness. And that liberation in life, that freedom from the vices. So naturally in the family, they would say that it's so difficult to leave these habits and change, and you're all doing it so naturally. And that's why those days they used to call it magic of Brahma Kumaris, no? Because it was magic. They didn't know what kind of magic. They thought it's something, forcefully had been done. Not only that, but no worry, no fear, and always ready for service. I'm sure that this must be your experience also. So what we will do now is to keep that vision of golden age and think about sweet fragrance, think about sweetness in our nature. Everything is so beautiful and sweet. I know when I was practicing today to maintain a peaceful mind, it really helped me. Many times I will remind myself, whenever energy was very different, I will just say, peaceful mind, keep your mind peaceful. And it was so beautiful. As soon as I remember, there was a completely change within the self. So this practice which we are taking for every day, during daytime, when we remind ourselves of that I have to create the sweetness of golden age with the nature, with animals, birds, anything. That sweetness of nature is very, very important. So keep this thought as a practice. It's simple, but really it does help. Both ways. One is you are not affected by what is happening. And second, you are able to create something also. Not only not affected, but also then you create that sweetness of heaven. Right? That's what we have to do. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, the sweetness is just such a, I don't know, it's such a good feeling inside, to feel sweet in a world that's so bitter and so just so much conflict. And I have been really working on this the last few days since, I've been, had the opportunity to be with you, is to go into this silence and just feel what it's like how I'm thinking of it is to be whole, not to be, have pieces of me, kind of, fragments of me, parts of me that aren't whole. So just wondering how you feel about just creating a feeling of wholeness within. Wouldn't that be connected to the golden age, where there's just nothing missing, nothing lacking?
Yeah, because reminding one's own self of all the attainments from Baba and eternally I am whole, right? Eternally I am loveful, peaceful, pure, as whole. All these divisions and conflict and lack of focus, everything happen afterwards, right? But as much we become soul conscious, as much I, think of my eternal self, it takes few seconds actually. I love to do it very often. Who am I eternally? And when I am eternal, what are my main qualities? I am pure, I am loveful, peaceful, and that removes everything, and definitely not only sweetness, but feeling of being whole definitely emerges.
They have a word in, I'm hardly a psychologist, but or therapy, but it's called self-talk, where you just keep talking to yourself. And, I don't know if people do it in Raja Yoga, our meditation, but just like you're saying, talking to myself. And I find that effective, just saying, I am peace. Everything is okay and everything is good. Even when I'm feeling maybe something doesn't feel so good for the moment, it's okay. And so I was just wondering, like this idea of maybe just really becoming your best friend in a way, instead of talking to somebody else, just talking to ourselves. And also, I feel opening that communication up even more with Baba.
Yeah, this is more like reminding one's own self, As much I keep reminding myself, it's like awareness is created. And that awareness brings happiness and power, right? So in a way it is talking, but it is more going into silence with creating that, reminding oneself, who am I originally? Who am I eternally? More you remind yourself, more you are able to experience it, right?
The more that it's really just keeping it there, right? And not losing it, not losing that feeling. Like, I remember somebody that I worked with went on an amazing vacation many years ago, like sailing around the Mediterranean with her entire family. They were all sailors. And she came back to work and she said, nothing's going to bother me. I am not going to be affected. And she was kind of one of the heads of the station. And she said, nothing, you're not going to affect me anymore as everybody else. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get upset. And then that lasted for about a week, and then she said, I'm losing that feeling that I had on vacation. And, it doesn't work if you do it sometimes, does it? It has to be so much part of your life. And not even, it's not enough to just do it early morning and at night here. And that's, I think, the whole study now is, or everything that we're learning is to keep doing it regularly throughout the day.
That's what we call practice. No?
Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about was why the mind can get cluttered. And I find that when there's just too much to do or too busy. And sometimes we can't really avoid that. We have things to do, we have deadlines, whatever it is we're doing. And especially, I'm sure people that have very high level jobs, and how to declutter the mind, and so that we don't because then it can be very stressful and very exhausting.
Yeah, we can do some of the things, of course, spiritually, but physically. One is what we call it traffic control,
Right.
that every hour, even for 2 minutes, half a minute, stop, pause, go into your silence, and then again you start doing it. So it's like you are recharged in a way. So traffic control is good, but also not keep everything in your head. I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. But have a small notebook or a pad and write everything. 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20 things, whatever you have to do, but not keep in the head. Because one of my, senior sister, when I came in knowledge, I was in college, I had to take care of center and there was a lot to do. And I told her that's impossible, it's becoming too much. She said, no, you write everything what you have to do. And as you keep doing it, tick off first one I did, second it. And I find that by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I was able to do everything. So sometimes keeping in the head, you really feel tension. Not only tension, but there are so many things I have to do this, I have a lot to do, I have this to do. And after that, I practice that and I say, okay, today I have 10 things to do. So let me start with first one instead of thinking about all 10. So that can also be tried. Traffic control is something very good. So I think that if you pay attention, then there won't be any tension. But it does happen, what you're saying, when there is too much to do, your head is cluttered, not only cluttered, but like you feel that burden, that heaviness. So I will suggest that, and then whatever you have been able to do, you are fine. You can do some things next day also, right? So by paying attention, doing little things like this can help to be free from tension. Right?
That's really good advice, very practical, very good advice. And often the feeling that, whatever's going on in our life, it might be things to do or it might be a situation. This feeling sometimes is like, how is it going to work out? And you keep thinking about it, or I do, not over and over again. I think that over many years, I've really been able to, I think, release myself from a lot of that. But still, there are those moments, where you're thinking, it's almost like thinking too much and maybe just almost thinking less of all these things. It's just like you say, you have your pad and your things to do, or your maybe even the journaling helps. I think when we have these, situations that we have to deal with, and there's a lot of well-being classes now too out there in the world, but I don't think, of course, that they really can understand how we as Brahmins and what Baba teaches us continually can do to have this experience, this really almost maybe constant experience of well-being.
Yeah.
And it's just well-being is it's the spiritual part that creates that, isn't it? I mean, it can't be just focusing on the physical.
Yeah,
And,
because we know how to be involved, but how to be detached also. A lot of people don't know how to be detached, right? But with us, we know these are saints of drama, and be detached observer and watch everything. That makes a lot of difference also.
Mohini Didi, I mean, it's like, I know this, but, sitting here with you, it's like, I feel it even more, is that we do have everything. We have been given everything that we need to really be whole and to be happy and to be content. And so sometimes I just say to myself, if I'm not feeling that way for a moment, I need to just change immediately, because I have it all at my disposal. We don't have to look anymore, do we? There's nothing that we need that we have to. My feeling is I don't need to read any books anymore. I don't need to, go to any, I don't mean BK classes, other classes, learn about other people's, we have it. Baba has given it to us. And I think we're about out of time, but could I just share one little story of just very quickly that when we were talking, the meditation today was about, the animals being so connected to the animals in the golden age that the animals would just respond to us. And over 20 years ago, you will not remember this probably, but you came to my home. We were doing a program here at my home. And I had a little dog, my husband, I had a little dog who made so much noise that nobody, he would disrupt meditation classes that I had here. And I was concerned that you were coming, and what would I do? I could lock him up, but he'd make noise. And you don't remember this, but he sat there by your feet the entire time that you talked, and he slept, and he never, ever uttered a bark, which I've never, ever saw him do ever before or ever after. And so I think that he could feel that relationship, that golden age relationship, I guess, with you. Maybe he'll be a future dog in the golden age, in the golden world. But I just wanted to share that with you, because you were able to affect not only all of us Brahmins, but also animals already. So
definitely, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you again, for letting me be part of this wonderful conversation that I've been having with you and learning so much. And I'm sure everybody else out there is just gaining so much always from you. And I think it's my time to read tomorrow's practice, right? Yeah. Okay. So today I practice the Golden Age Sanskara of seeing with whole vision by tasting the sweetness of heaven in my mind. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Avyakti Parivar. Have you reached airport? Yeah, our flight is ready to take off. So let's start our Avyakti journey. Welcome to Avyakti journey, Madhuban, the forest of Fani, where heaven begins. लुभाए, बाबा तेरा मधुबन मन को लुभाए, चित्त को चुराए, सुख बरसाए, चित्त को चुराए, सुख बरसाए। मीठी मीठी यादों में दिल को समाए, बाबा तेरा मधुबन मन को लुभाए।
वो देख बाबूजी है लाया
Om Shanti. Thank you for extra hospitality. That was wonderful flight in first class. And also, we have 2 air hostesses today. So we have more services available. So Vyakti Parivar, anything you want, you can tell them. They will provide you right there. Thank you. You both are so cute, our air hostesses. We really like your services. I'm sure everyone liked it, right? Hello, Vyakti Parivar? Yes? Thank you. Okay, so please don't forget, as our pilot says, same time, every day, our flight will fly. So tomorrow is Tuesday, and we'll be having our same schedule, including our Awake Murli revision from 5 to 6 p.m. and Amritvela evening Patti, Hindi series, English series, and 3 times of Yoga Patti. Okay, now let's remember Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good night, everyone. Om Shanti. Good night.